See this paragraph. Most of the arable land in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. The chief commercial crop was indigo. So most of the arable land means the land fit for cultivations. Okay. So most of these lands, most of the cultivated land in the Champaran district was divided into two parts. The large property, the large estates owned by Englishmen. Okay. And worked by Indian tenants. Indian peasants of Champaran, the poor peasants of Champaran worked in those arable land. And the British, the landlords, were the owners. The chief commercial crop was indigo. What was the main crop? What was the chief crop at that time? The chief commercial crop was indigo. And now we will get to know about the agreement, about the long-term contract between the Indian peasants and the British landlords. Let's see. The landlords compelled all tenants to plant 3/20 or 15% of their holdings with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. And this was done by long-term contract. So what was the long-term contract? The contract was that Indian peasants were forced to plant 15% indigo in their land. And at the time of harvesting, they had to surrender the entire crops as rent to the British landlords. They had to surrender the entire indigo crops as rent to the landlords. That was the agreement between the Indian peasants and the British landlords. Keep in mind, they had to plant 15% indigo in their land, and at the time of harvesting, they had to surrender the entire crops as rent to the landlords. That was the agreement between the British landlords and the Indian peasants of Champaran. Okay. After that, what happened? See, presently the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. Synthetic indigo, that is artificial indigo. The British landlords came to know about the artificial indigo developed by Germany. Keep in mind which country had developed synthetic indigo. Germany had developed synthetic indigo. And the landlords came to know about this artificial indigo. What happened after that? What did they do? They obtained agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. So what did they do? When the landlords came to know about the synthetic indigo developed by Germany, they wanted compensation. They wanted money from the sharecroppers. Okay, because indigo plantation was no more profitable now. Okay, that's why they decided to release the sharecroppers from the contract, 15% contract. What did they do? They wanted compensation. They wanted compensation from the sharecroppers. They wanted money as compensation. The sharecropping arrangement was irksome to the peasants, and many signed willingly. Those who resisted engaged lawyers, and the landlords hired thugs. The peasants also agreed to this proposal. Why? Because they did not want to grow indigo crops in their land. Because the sharecropping system was irksome, that means troublesome, irritating for the peasants. And that's why many of them signed willingly. They willingly signed to that agreement. They agreed to that agreement. Those who resisted, the people who did not want to pay money to the landlords, they engaged lawyers to fight their cases in court. And the landlords hired thugs to threaten the peasants. Okay, this is very important. Keep in mind. Meanwhile, after that, what happened? The information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed. Got it? So the poor peasants, the uneducated peasants, the illiterate peasants also came to know about the artificial indigo developed by Germany. The people who had signed, the people who paid compensation, they came to know about the artificial indigo developed by Germany. And then they wanted their money back. Now they protested. They wanted their money back. This is the Indigo Revolt or Indigo Movement. Champaran Satyagraha. This is the main thing. The agreement between the Indian peasants and the British landlords. And after that, what happened when they came to know about the artificial indigo developed by Germany? And after that, the British wanted compensation, and then the peasants also agreed to that proposal. And when the peasants also came to know about the synthetic indigo developed by Germany, they wanted their money back. See, this is very important. There's a question. What did the peasants pay the British landlords as rent? What did the British now want instead, and why? What would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of natural indigo? Okay, when the British landlords came to know about the synthetic indigo developed by Germany, so why didn't they want indigo crops? Why did they want money from the sharecroppers? What would be the impact of artificial indigo on the prices of natural indigo? That is a question. They wanted money from the sharecroppers because the price of natural indigo would fall with the advent of artificial indigo. Okay, that's why the British landlords wanted money instead of crops, indigo crops. See, when the peasants came to know about the artificial indigo developed by Germany, they wanted their money back. And at this point, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. Gandhi arrived in Champaran and he started investigation. Let's see. He began by trying to get the facts. First, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association, and the secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. And Gandhi answered that he was not outsider. So Gandhi started investigation. He began by trying to get the facts. He wanted to know the facts. That's why he first visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. And the secretary told him that they could not give information to Gandhi because they said that Gandhi was an outsider. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhat division in which the Champaran district lay. The commissioner proceeded to bully me and advised me forthwith to leave Tirhat. Bully means to threaten. So the commissioner not only threatened Gandhi but also suggested him to leave Tirhat. So did he follow the advice given by the commissioner? Let's see. Gandhi did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Matihari, the capital of Champaran. Keep in mind, what was the capital of Champaran? Matihari. So the commissioner threatened Gandhi and he also suggested him to leave Tirhat. But Gandhi did not obey the order. He disobeyed the order given by the commissioner. Gandhi did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Matihari. And he was joined by several lawyers. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhi. Multitude means crowd. A vast crowd welcomed Gandhi. He went to a house and using it as headquarters and continued his investigations. At the time, a report came in that a peasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. Maltreated means misbehaved. So Gandhi came to know about an incident of an ill treatment with a peasant. And he was on his way He was on his way on an elephant when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. So Gandhi was on his way when police superintendent's messenger stopped him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. What did Gandhi do? Again Gandhi complied. Again Gandhi disobeyed the order given by the messenger. The messenger drove Gandhi home when he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. So Gandhi followed him and the messenger took him back to his home, and Gandhi was given a notice to leave Champaran. But Gandhi disobeyed the order. Gandhi did not obey the order given by the police superintendent's messenger. Keep in mind, Gandhi got an order, he received an order to leave Champaran. But Gandhi disobeyed the order.